What is going on? This your dude Shopping. In this video, we're going to be diving deep into the fantasy football aftermath that was NFL Week 9. We've got heroes who soared, we got zeros who flopped, and we got an injury list that is about as long as a Monday morning traffic jam. So sit back, relax, and let's break down some winners and losers from a chaotic NFL Week 9. Let's go. All right, let's start with the injury report. And brace yourself because it's a tough one. Daniel Jones, the man under center for the Giants, has hit the sidelines with an ACL tear. I know that's a blow for sure for Giants fans, and with Tyrod Taylor still out of the picture, the Giants are going to be looking for answers. Unfortunately, so are Saquon Barkley owners. Is it viable to keep Saquon even if the Giants are down to their third string quarterback? My answer would be yes. I mean, every defense that faced the Giants all gear up to stop Saquon anyways. So this will be nothing new. Saquon has had double-digit fantasy numbers all season except for that opener versus Dallas, and we all remember how bad that was. In his last 4 games since missing those 3 games, he has averaged 14.5 fantasy points, and I don't think there's a halfback in the free agency that can match that. But we'll take a look on that tomorrow for our free agent fantasy show. All right, let's pivot to a brighter side of things because even in the shadow of injuries, some players are just stepping up into the spotlight. Stroud, you've got our attention, young man, putting up a whopping 41 fantasy points versus the Bucks. This guy is handing out fantasy points like it's Halloween candy. But remember, he's got his ups and he's got his downs. So let's keep an eye on those matchups. They can be as tricky as a double reverse play. He's going to go to Cincy next week, and then he has the Jets near the playoffs. If you've ever thought about moving him, CJ Stroud that is, because you feel like he's going to hit a rookie wall, this is probably the time to do it. His stock has never and may never be this high again. And how about Aaron Jones? Welcome back to the fantasy party. Talk about a breakthrough, finally. He hasn't been in double-digit fantasy since week 1 and puts up 17.9 this week. The Packers finally let him off the leash, allowing him to rush for a season-high 20 carries. 20 carries. To put that in perspective, he hasn't had more than 9 all season. Could be looking at a season-defining performance here that could carry teams to their league championships. Maybe. Look, if I was struggling and needed to make a move, trying to get Aaron Jones now could be just what you need. But in all reality, I'd probably wait one more week to see. All right, shifting gears, let's talk about Jonathan Taylor. The Colts have been feeding him the ball lately, and he's starting to round into the back we all knew he was in like 2021, other than his coach at the time, but I digress. Look, his workload is as hefty as a fullback's gym routine, but right now, he's turning those carries into fantasy gold. Some of you are going to be paid mighty heavily for stashing him in IR. Kudos to you guys. Now we've got to address the elephant in the room. The players who left your fantasy team wanting more. Davante Adams, I'm looking at you. We were all geared up for a show against the Giants, but it turned out to be more of a no-show. 4 receptions for only 34 yards. Adams hasn't had a TD catch since week 3. Against the Giants, I guess I expected a feast, but it was more like a light snack. It's just a tough pill to swallow as a fantasy owner. I mean, here you paid a lot of fantasy money or you spent your high draft pick on Davante Adams. And although the Raiders won with interim coach Antonio Pierce, I don't know if he's going to be able to utilize Adams the way that fantasy owners want him to. He's a defensive guy, so I really wouldn't count on it. And then there's Geno Smith, a whopping 3.6 fantasy points yesterday. Last season's stats are starting to look more like a mirage in the desert for Geno Smith. This season, he's been struggling to hit those same highs, and it's been a bit of a reality check. It's a reminder that in football, past performance is like last week's game tape. It's important, you gain some insight and knowledge, but it's not a guarantee of future success. Geno has got to be better, but I'm hoping that waits one more week as he faces my Commanders in week 10. But that's really the beauty of fantasy football, isn't it? It's a game of anticipation, strategy, and sometimes just plain old luck. Whether your team is on a winning streak or you need a comeback, it's all about staying in the game and preparing for the next matchup. Because in the league, anything can happen on any given Sunday. Make sure you come back and tune in to tomorrow as we go over the waiver wire pickups you should consider. And join me tonight for Monday Night Football Sidecast on Twitch at twitch.tv/ShopmasterTV. Starts at 7:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Would love to have you and hear what you think about your favorite team now that we're a midway point through the season. That's it. It's your dude Shop breaking down the big plays and the tough breaks of Week 9. As you set your lineups and scout your waiver wire, remember, it's a jungle out there in fantasy world. Good luck. You're going to need it. Peace.